Good evening. Welcome to the second day of our Virtual Accommodation Open week. Today's session is all about our halls of residence. We've prepared a video that will take you through each of the hall sites and show you what they have to offer, with comments from our site supervisors and students who've lived there to give you an idea of what it's like to be a resident. We'll be starting with Wessex Lane, then moving through Erasmus Park, Mayflower, Glen and Archers Road. Before we get started, a couple of quick things to say. We'll be opening the Q&A section after the video and we'll have people able to answer your questions. We'll respond to messages in the chat and pick up some to answer live with staff and students on screen. Secondly, don't worry if you miss any details from the session. All the events will be recorded and available on our event website after the day for you to watch. Anyway, that's enough from me for now. We've got a lot to get through, so let's start the video. Sorry about that, we're just going to restart. It seems that we don't have any sound on the video. Give me 1 minute. Let's try that again.
Welcome to our Which Halls Are Right For Me webinar, focusing on our Wessex Lane Halls site. My name is Tom and I'm a site supervisor at Wessex Lane. I'll be taking you through the site and why you might want to live here for the next academic year. After the spotlight, you'll hear from one of the previous residents at Wessex and they can tell you why this was the right hall for them. Wessex Lane is our second largest halls of residence, situated in Swaithling to the north of Southampton. Wessex Lane is made up of over 30 accommodation blocks, spread over two distinct areas on the site, Montefiore and Connaught Halls. Montefiore and Connaught between them host a selection of the room categories available in our halls. The rooms that have shared bathrooms on offer include our standard, enhanced and our newly refurbished Enhanced Plus rooms, which include a modern kitchen, dining room and lounge including a built-in TV. The refurbishment of our Enhanced Plus accommodation was shaped by student feedback for the need for more space to socialise and relax in their own homes. For those looking for their own bathroom, we offer standard and enhanced ensuite rooms. Wessex Lane provides the option of park-catered or self-catered accommodation. For those who wish to have meals included with their accommodation during term time, the park-catered contracts provides breakfast and dinner on weekdays, a Saturday brunch and a Sunday lunch. There is also the flexibility of ordering your meals to take away, or use your daily allocation at one of the university's other catering outlets on academic campuses. It's also worth highlighting that those in self-catered can also purchase meals from the canteen if they wish. As with all of our sites, Wessex Lane is supported by a 24/7 reception and laundry room. The site has a selection of recently refurbished common rooms and study areas, including a large common room known as the lounge, a dedicated computer room and a separate study zone. The social spaces provide games such as table tennis, pool and snooker, in addition to screens and booths which can be used for gaming, studying or watching films. The site also benefits from a bookable music room, and for those with a university sport and wellbeing membership, Wessex Lane also has an on-site gym. Wessex Lane Halls has a bus stop right outside the entrance with a regular service, meaning you can go from your room to being on a bus in a matter of minutes. Highfield campus is a short bus ride from Wessex Lane and will get you to campus in around 5 to 10 minutes. If you wish to walk to Highfield, it's a 20 to 25 minute walk, or cycling takes around 5 to 10 minutes. There are multiple secure cycle stores across the site for those who wish to bring a bike, as many students choose more sustainable modes of transport. If you are looking to travel further afield, Wessex Lane is a short walk from Swaithling train station, or it's also a short bus ride from Southampton Airport and Southampton Parkway train station. Wessex Lane has many amenities close by, including shops, cafes, takeaways, a doctor's surgery and a pharmacy. If If you journey a little further, residents will find the main high street in nearby Portswood, which is popular with students wanting to grab a bite to eat, meet some friends for coffee or cocktails, or do a bit of shopping in one of the several large supermarkets and many smaller shops. All areas are in walking distance and are on Unilink bus routes. For those who enjoy outdoor pursuits, there are lots of facilities and spaces nearby for your leisure needs. If you are into water sports, then one of the university's water sports centres is just around the corner, with a variety of activities including rowing, archery and rifle shooting. Additionally, the university's wide lane sports facility is also a short bus journey or cycle from Wessex Lane. Just a 5-minute walk from Wessex you will find Riverside Park, with lots of green spaces, sports pitches and a skate park alongside the River Itchen. Many people enjoy activities there like walking, cycling, picnics, or you may consider hiring a canoe or kayak from Woodmill Activity Centre for a fun day out on the river. If you fancy a longer walk, there is the Itchen Navigation, which is a 10-mile countryside walk that stretches from Riverside Park all the way to the historic city of Winchester. Wessex Lane is an ideal location for your academic, social and transport needs, with a range of accommodation and catering options. If you'd like to know anything about the site, we'll have staff available in the question and answer session to help you work out if Wessex Lane is the right halls for you.
Hi, I'm Sabrina from Italy and I'm studying Business Analytics with placement at the University of Southampton. This is my second year here and I lived both years in Wessex Lane, both in Connaught Halls and Montefiore House. Wessex Lane has a gym, a restaurant and many common areas like snooker room, music room, both indoors and outdoors, so there are some green spaces too. There are some rooms to study like the study room, computer lab, and there is a new building in Montefiore House that will be a new common room. The location is quite convenient because it's 20 minutes by walk, but also 6 to 10 minutes by bus, and the bus stop is right outside Wessex Lane, and the buses are every 10 minutes, and there is an option for night buses during the weekend too. Wessex Lane is also close to the airport, which has a station too, so it's quite easy to move from Southampton. And there is a road between the Highfield campus and Wessex Lane that has many restaurants and shops like Tesco Express and Sainsbury's Local. I met most of my friends in Wessex Lane, mostly in the restaurant because we had dinner together every day. But then we spent like almost every day in the common areas, watching movies or playing table tennis, playing snookers, or just like spending time in the common areas or studying together. I think that Wessex is the right house for me because I don't really like walking, so I find really useful that the bus stop is right outside Wessex Lane, and it's quite easy to get both to the uni or to the city. And also because of the common areas, because is an easy way to meet with your friends, even if they are from different flats in Wessex Lane or from different buildings. We can just meet inside Wessex Lane, and I personally think it's also safer than going outside.
Welcome to our Which Halls Are Right For Me webinar, focusing on our Erasmus Park Hall site. My name is Marta and I'm a site supervisor at Erasmus Park. I'll be taking you through the site and the reasons why you might want to live here for the next academic year. After the spotlight, you'll hear from one of the previous residents at Erasmus Park so they can explain why they enjoy their stay with us. Erasmus Park is located in Winchester, so it is the perfect choice for students at the Winchester School of Arts, the university's campus in Winchester. The halls are a 10-minute walk from campus and a 15-minute walk from the city centre. The site is situated right next to the Winnell Moors Nature Reserve, a lovely wildlife sanctuary that dates back to medieval times. The 64-hectare park is home to water voles, otters and a variety of bird species. There are walking paths that can take you through the reserve with loads of information on offer. Winchester is a beautiful city which served as the capital of England around 2,000 years ago. It has lots of historical monuments and great places to visit, like Winchester Cathedral and Winchester Castle, where you can find King Arthur's Round Table. It also has lots of shops, restaurants and pubs for you to go out with friends, plus theatres, art galleries and live music venues if you want to take in some culture. Erasmus Park has 360 rooms in total, all of them self-catered and with an ensuite bathroom. Each flat is comprised of 6 to 10 rooms with a generous kitchen for you to prepare meals. Most of our residents are undergraduate students, but we also have a fair number of postgraduates, many of them international. Just down the road from Erasmus Park is a Tesco hypermarket and a Costa coffee shop, so stocking your kitchen and picking up essentials for your flat is really easy. Of particular interest to our international students here, there's also a storage facility within walking distance. It is a campsite and you get a real sense of community where everyone knows each other. With all students here studying an arts course, there is a real creative atmosphere. Each flat has a spacious kitchen where you can socialise with your flatmates, and outside we have a green area where you can enjoy sunny days while working on your arts project or have a barbecue with friends. As with all of our sites, we have a 24/7 reception and laundry room. So no matter the time of day, you can pick up post, get your laundry done, log an urgent maintenance request, or ask any questions that you may have about life in halls. We also have a common room where you can watch TV, play pool, study, and chill with your flatmates at any time. We hope this has given you a good overview of Erasmus Park halls. If you'd like to know anything about the site, I'll be available in the question and answer session to help you work out if this is the right halls for you.
Hi guys, my name's Jess. I study fashion and textiles design. I'm in my 3rd year and I lived in Erasmus for my 1st year. I really liked it there. It was really nice. They had a massive sense of community and everyone had like something in common. Everyone had a creative background. There was people from my course in my flat and also like mixed with other people from other courses. So it was nice to have like a little bit of variety. We socialised mainly with like other flats as well. Like there was sort of 2 or 3 flats that would end up going out all the time, or like we had a few movie nights. We also like watched I'm a Celeb together. That was quite nice when that was on. But it was really nice that sort of everyone was kind of in the same boat. Like most first years when I was there were all in Erasmus, so everyone was kind of in the same place as well, which was nice. I also like that they had like en suites in the rooms because it meant you have your like own space, especially like with first year, like sometimes sharing a bathroom for first year is a bit much. So yeah, having like your own bathroom was really nice as well. Like being only sort of 20-minute walk from uni, it was so easy to like get to everywhere. There was a big Tesco's literally 2 minutes from the house that you could walk there. So it was such a good location too. But yeah, we had lots of fun, and yeah, that's why Erasmus was right for me.
Welcome to our Which Halls Are Right For Me webinar, focusing on our Mayflower Hall site. My name is Kaylee and I'm a site supervisor at Mayflower Halls. I'll be taking you through the site and why you might want to live here for the next academic year. After the spotlight, you'll hear from one of the previous residents at Mayflower and they can tell you why they thought Mayflower was the right hall for them. Mayflower is situated in the city centre. It's a short bus journey to main campus and all our academic and hall sites by our Unilink bus service. You'll get a Unilink bus pass in your hall's welcome pack that will get you anywhere you need to go quickly and easily. Mayflower Halls is close to Southampton Central train station and the National Express coach station for all your travel needs. Southampton Airport can be reached by our Unilink bus network. Across the road from Mayflower Halls is Watts Park and the Southampton Civic Centre, a municipal building encompassing the Sea City Museum, the O2 Guildhall, Southampton City Art Gallery and the City Library. Just next door to our complex is the Mayflower Theatre, where all the blockbusting theatre shows tour. At the front of Mayflower Hall's building, you will find the Mayflower Gym, boasting a modern and innovative design including high-quality facilities with state-of-the-art fitness equipment at a subsidised cost to all of our students. There is a co-op supermarket just on the opposite corner to the gym, which is currently open from 7 AM to 8 PM daily. A short walk from Mayflower Halls into the city centre, you will find Asda Superstore, which stays open until 11 PM on most days. West Quay Shopping Centre is a little further on and open from 9 AM to 8 PM daily. Here you will find a range of restaurants, bars, a cinema and a bowling alley. Mayflower Halls opened in September 2014 to its first students and has proven to be a highly popular site. There are just over 1,100 rooms at Mayflower, consisting of single ensuite standard rooms, enhanced ensuite rooms, and one-bed flats and studios. All of our accommodation here is self-catered, and all of the flats include a generous kitchen to allow you to cook for yourself or with your fellow flatmates. Most of the rooms here are for undergraduates, with some flats available for postgraduate and mature students. There are 3 blocks that make up Mayflower Halls, and they are simply called A, B and C block. All of them are high-rise buildings, with C block being the smallest with 9 floors, while B block is the tallest with 16 floors. There are lift facilities in each block if you don't fancy getting your steps in each day. All areas in Mayflower are accessible using a specifically programmed fob, allowing you access to the lift, your main flat door and your bedroom. The fob will also allow you access to the secure bicycle store located on level 1 in B block and to the laundry located on the ground floor in C block. Here are some example pictures of the standard ensuite and enhanced ensuite room types on offer. For more information and pictures, be sure to visit our website. As with all our sites, Mayflower has a 24/7 reception and laundry room, so no matter the time of day, you can pick up post, get your laundry done, log an urgent maintenance request, or ask any questions that you may have about life in halls. You will find a large study area at Mayflower, and each block has a common room for you to get together with your friends. The Learning Centre is a bookable space for any students of the University of Southampton. So even if you have friends who do not live at Mayflower Halls, you can invite them over to join you in this quiet space to study. We hope that has given you a good overview of Mayflower Halls. If you'd like to know anything about the site, I'll be available in the question and answer session to help you work out if Mayflower is the right halls for you.
Hello, my name is Sarah and I'm a 3rd year mathematics and philosophy student. Throughout my degree, I have lived at Mayflower Halls. Mayflower Halls is situated in the heart of Southampton city centre, and this is one of the reasons why I wanted to stay here, as it reminded me of my hometown. Another great benefit of living at Mayflower Halls is the ease of use of buses. The U2 and U2B buses come frequently and stop directly outside the halls, and both take you to Avenue and Highfield campuses under 30 minutes. I love the commute because it drives past the Southampton Commons, and they are so beautiful, especially in the crisp of a winter morning. Mayflower Halls is made up of 3 buildings, Block A, Block B and Block C. I've lived at both Block A and Block B and had an equally great experience in both due to the close-knit community. In our flat, for example, every Friday was games night, sometimes in competition with other flats. We even held a student version of Come Dine With Me, where one of us would cook and host for the other flatmates. All these reasons and many more are why Mayflower Halls was the right halls for me.
Welcome to our Which Halls Are Right For Me webinar, focusing on our Glen Hall site. My name is Rachel and I'm a site supervisor at Glen. I'll be taking you through the site and why you might want to live here for the next academic year. After the spotlight, you'll hear from one of the previous residents at Glen and they can tell you why they thought Glen was the right hall for them. Glen is situated to the north of Highfield campus, within walking distance to lectures but linked up to all academic and hall sites by our Unilink bus service. You'll get a bus pass in your hall's welcome pack that can get you anywhere you need to go quickly and easily. Glen is close to Southampton Common and a large sports centre including a dry ski slope, so there's plenty of outdoor areas for you to visit. Glen is one of our greenest sites, with lots of trees on site and surrounding it. There's even a lovely walk through a wooded area on the grounds itself. The area surrounding is quiet and residential. We think that anyone who values being close to nature will love this site. Just down the road from Glen is Burgess Road, full of shops, cafes and restaurants offering a brilliant variety of cuisines. If you're looking to go a little further, it's linked up by the previously mentioned Unilink bus service, with regular buses taking you to the city centre or to Portswood, where you can find large supermarkets, more shops, restaurants and bars for a bit of shopping or a night out. Our buildings at Glen are incredibly varied. There are some very traditional ones and some that were built or refurbished in the last few years. The site is comprised of 12 halls areas, totaling 23 buildings and making up over 2,000 student rooms. All of our accommodation here is self-catered, and all of the flats include a generous kitchen to allow you to cook for yourself or with your flatmates. Most of the rooms here are for undergraduate students, but we do have some flats available for postgraduate and mature students. Almost every single room type is represented at Glen, so whatever your preferences and price range, there's something to suit you. Here are some example pictures of some of the room types on offer, but for more information and pictures, please be sure to visit our website. As with all our sites, Glen has a 24/7 reception and laundry room, so no matter the time of day, you can pick up post, get your laundry done, log an urgent maintenance request, or ask any questions that you may have about life in halls. The site has a huge amount of communal facilities on offer. Whether you'd prefer to spend your evenings relaxing in the cinema room, working out in the gym, jamming with your mates in the music room, or just using one of the common rooms, there's something to suit everyone. In addition, there are bookable squash courts and table tennis tables, study rooms so that you can revise in peace, and barbecue areas for the summertime. All of the facilities are available to all hall students, so even if you've got friends at another site, you can invite them over to use the great facilities here. We hope that this has given you a good overview of Glen Halls. If you'd like to know anything about the site, I'll be available in the question and answer session to help you work out if Glen is the right halls for you.
Hello, my name is Zamzam. I'm a third-year chemistry student studying at the University of Southampton. The halls I stayed in was in Glen, and I stayed in specifically Jellicoe as part of the Chancellor Court buildings at the back of the Glen site. So these huge white kind of square buildings, and in the centre of it is a green space with some trees and benches. And as everyone comes, or most people come in and out through that kind of area, it's actually how I met a lot of different flats that I hung out with in my first year. And on one particular night, we all met. One of my friends from another flat brought out cups of tea, and we all just sat in the courtyard socialising. So Glen Halls was right for me because of the social culture and the green spaces.
Welcome to our Which Halls Are Right For Me webinar, focusing on our Archers Road Hall site. My name is Marta and I'm a site supervisor at Archers Road. I'll be taking you through the site and why you might want to live here for the next academic year. After the spotlight, you'll hear from one of the previous residents at Archers and they can tell you why this was the right hall for them. Archers Road halls include Gately Hall and Romero Hall, both very close to the city centre and easily linked to all teaching campuses using our Unilink bus service. You get a bus pass in your hall's welcome pack that can get you anywhere you need to go quickly and easily. The site is a short walk from Southampton Central train station with links all over the country. Archers Road is also a couple of minutes away from Bedford Place, which is full of shops and cafes. Notably, there's a large Sainsbury's to help you get stocked up, as all of our rooms here are self-catered. Some great clubs and bars for night out, and a few lovely independent cafes and restaurants if you just want a quick bite to eat. In addition to the Sainsbury's, there's also a Lidl within walking distance and a co-op situated between Gately and Romero. It is also very close to Southampton Common, where you can go for long walks, go running, or just have a chat with friends in the middle of nature. The Common hosts several festivals in the summer, perfect to help you unwind after finishing your exams, and has a year-round wildlife centre providing information about Southampton's biodiversity. If you're looking to go a bit further, the city centre is a short walk away, or you can just hop on the Unilink bus. Southampton City has a huge variety of sports grounds, restaurants, and the newly built cultural quarter, where you can find museums, art galleries, and live music venues to enjoy. The site has around 400 rooms total, all of them self-catered and with a private bathroom, and we have some of the cheapest ensuite rooms across all halls. Each flat has between 7 and 10 rooms, with a spacious kitchen for all flatmates to cook and socialise together. Some of our flats are alcohol-free, and we offer quiet flats for students who appreciate a noiseless environment. As with all of our sites, we have a 24/7 reception and laundry room, so no matter the time of day, you can pick up posts, get your laundry done, log an urgent maintenance request, or ask any questions that you may have about life in halls. We also have several bike sheds where you can store your bike while you are in halls. We also have 2 large common rooms, one in Gately and one in Romero, that you can use to study or relax with friends when watching a film or playing pool. Sometimes we have events happening in the common rooms, which you can take part in with friends if you wish. We hope this has given you a good overview of Gately and Romero halls. If you'd like to know anything about the sites, I'll be available in the question and answer session to help you work out if Archers is the right halls for you.
Hi everyone, my name's Augustine. I'm a current medical student in year 4, and I stayed in Archers Road, Gately Halls in particular. So I really liked Archers Road. I liked it so much I actually stayed for 2 years, for my first 2 years of my degree. And it's something that I've always had good memories of, and I still remember to this day how like amazing it felt to be, well, to first go into the halls and meet new people, but also when I was there, the halls is a smaller type of hall, so it's more of a close-knit community. I got to meet so many people that I'm still friends with to this day, and because it was a close-knit community, you actually got to make good, strong bonds with people, because you see those type of people almost day in, day out. And that's something that I was looking forward to when I was applying for halls, something for me to be able to come back to my halls and know people and be able to interact. And we had a common space whereby we actually revised together as a halls, which was quite unique because our halls don't really get to revise together. So different days, if you go down, you get to see different mix of people, you get to interact with them. And then even outside of halls, we're right next to the Southampton Common, which was great. We could go to walks there. We're only a 10-minute walk to the city centre, so it was great for me because I've always wanted to be near the city, but not quite in the city, because I didn't want to be as too far from university. And Archers Road offered perfectly for that, because it's situated almost halfway between the main campus, Highfield, and the city centre, which meant that I could go into the city centre, but I wasn't that close to it that I was too far from the university either. But essentially, I really liked Archers, and that's why I decided to stay in Archers Road for 2 years.
Thank you all for watching. There's so much to tell you about our halls. I hope it's given you a good overview of each of them. Remember to have a look at our website for more information and pictures of each of these halls. We'll put a link in the chat for you. Now we're going to move on to our Q&A session. Firstly, we're going to go through a few questions submitted before the event, but after that, we'll start taking questions from the chat. So do ask if you've got one in mind. Be sure to have a look at the questions previously asked and like any that you want the answer to. We'll try to answer as many as we can, and we'll focus on the ones with the most likes. The questions will be answered by the staff and students that you just saw on screen. So let me just get a quick list of these up. Okay, so let's start off. So we're going from the pre-submitted questions to start with, and then we'll go on to the live ones after that. So I think the first question will be for Kaylee. I'm applying to study marine biology. My biggest question is, are all the classes for marine biology at the NOC campus? If so, then I'd like to book accommodation as close to there as possible. So would you mind helping us out with that, Kaylee?
Of course. All the marine biology courses are taught at Knox, and Mayflower would be the nearest site to the Knox campus. It's about a 20-minute walk or a 5-minute bus journey. You can also cycle quite safely down there now with all the bicycle routes through Southampton. But it is worth remembering that whichever site you're at, you will get a Unilink bus pass that will get you directly to Knox on a direct bus route.
That's great. Thank you very much, Kaylee. Okay, let's go on to our next one. So this will be a question for Carl. So what is the difference between a standard and an enhanced ensuite at Wessex Lane Halls? As this person said, they couldn't really tell the difference from the pictures online.
Thanks, James. So in terms of the difference between a standard and enhanced, in terms of our standard offering, as with all ensuites, you get your bed, desk, chair, and the ensuite itself has a standalone shower and wash basin. In terms of what the enhanced ensuite offering is that the areas are slightly more modern. You will be sharing with slightly less people in terms of the kitchen facilities. So it's more of a more modern building. Sometimes the rooms are slightly larger as well. So that's kind of the distinction between the two. And as I say, and you'll also be sharing with slightly less people in the enhanced ensuite offering at Wessex Lane.
Thank you very much, Carl. That's great. Okay, so we've got another question here. This one's for Marta. How much does it cost to do my washing, and where could I dry it?
So all of our halls have laundry rooms where the washing and drying can be done. The load of washing is £2.70 and a load of drying is £1.20. However, if students don't wish to have a load of drying, they can get their clothes dry in their rooms, provided that they are properly ventilated.
Wonderful, thank you very much. And yeah, that's the case across all of our halls. Nice and cheap kind of washing facilities for all students, very easy to use. And our last pre-submitted question here, this will be one for Rachel. I'd like to find out which accommodation will suit me and my interest in sport best.
Hi, yes, so we're lucky to have different gyms dotted around halls and on campus. So you do need to sign up to the Sport and Wellbeing membership to get access to those via your student ID card. And that gets you access to the Mayflower gym that was mentioned in the presentation, the small gym at Connaught, which is on the Wessex Lane complex, also the gym at Glen, and also the main site gym, which is the Jubilee Sports Centre, which includes like the pool, a gym and different classes as well.
That's great, thank you very much. So I think that concludes all of the kind of pre-submitted questions that we've got. Let's jump into the live questions that we've got. I'll just start working through these. Let's pick some out. So first one here, I think I'm going to ask you to help me out with this one, Carl. So can you request to stay with a friend if applying to the same halls?
Hiya. So if you are applying for halls, you can't, in terms of, it's not part of the form in terms of you can ask to apply as like a pair as such, but you can in your notes section say if you wish to be with someone else, in terms of if possible to be in the same flat as someone else. We can't guarantee it, but what I would suggest is if there's two of you, make sure that in the notes section of your application form both put that you would like to be in a flat with the other one, and then we can see what we can do. So it's not guaranteed, but we try our best to kind of meet those kind of requests where we can. On Thursday, we have a whole session about the whole application process, and in there there'll be kind of lots of tips and lots of information about how you can fill out the application form, and we'll cover kind of like the notes section on there as well. What I would say is that you also do have the possibility to come back into halls for a second year. It's not guaranteed as it is for first year undergraduates, but in that second year, if you wish to come back into halls as a returner, you can apply as a group with a group of friends. And so that you do have that option for kind of second and third year if you wish to come back into halls. So although it's not a definite kind of yes, we can do it, it is something that we try to do where we can, and using that notes function, as I say.
Wonderful, thank you very much, Carl. I've got another question here, which I'm just going to kind of tack on to the end of that one. It's about the application process as well. So I'll answer this one, but I would say that we're going to have a whole session on applications on Thursday. So if you've got any kind of in-depth questions about applications, be sure to save them for then. So the question is, if my course begins on September the 1st, what date will I move into my accommodation? So okay, I'll take this one. You would apply for halls as normal. It'd just be a completely standard application process. Make sure you put in your notes that Carl mentioned the free text box at the end that that your course starts at that point. We then liaise with your faculty, so the people that you'll be actually studying with. They send over lists of all the students who are going to need to arrive earlier, and we then adjust contracts based on that. So don't worry about it. We will house you from whatever date your course starts. It won't be an issue at all. So next one we've got here. So I think, Rachel, you might be able to help me out this one. So which halls are closest to the university hospitals for those who have courses there?
Hi, so I would say that Glen is the closest to the general hospital, but obviously, as mentioned in a lot of our presentations, when you move into halls, you are given a Unilink bus pass, which does get you around the city on the Unilink buses, and one specific route on the bus service is to that hospital. There is as well a smaller hospital, the Royal Southampton, which is close to Mayflower Halls in the city centre and Archers Road. But I wouldn't let the location stop you from applying from different areas, as you do get the Unilink bus pass included.
That's great. Thank you very much, Rachel. And yeah, I'll just reiterate that last point. Don't worry so much about the location. Choose the halls that you like the kind of look and feel of. So it's the facilities that are there, the kind of environment that you're going to be in. Let's say you want the city centre lifestyle, the kind of out of town, more kind of green site. Base your decision more on that, I would say, than the location, because the bus service is brilliant. It can get you anywhere you need to go. Let's move on to the next question. Okay. Who's going to be the best person to help me with this one? I might go back to you if that's okay for this one, Carl. So the question is, how is rent paid? Is it monthly, termly, or yearly?
In terms of rent, that is broken down into, well, depending on the length of your contract. For most undergraduate students, you'd be looking at a kind of 36, 38 to 40-week contract, which basically covers you from September through until June, July the following year. On those contracts, we break instalments down into 3 sections. One goes out in October, one in January, and one slightly dependent on when Easter is, normally goes out around March or April kind of time. When you accept your offer, the instalment dates are all outlined on there. And the reason that we have those dates is it kind of fits in terms of when maintenance loans and other things like that come through and grants. So yeah, it's broken down into 3 instalments, and it's all set out when you accept your contract, so you'll know exactly which date the money is due and how much that will be for each of those instalments.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Carl. We've actually got a session tomorrow that will be going over the support available to you in halls. And one of the teams that we'll be talking to is the student advice team. They're actually the people who kind of are the front end team for the fees and financial information and assistance teams. So if you've got any more in-depth questions about fees or how you pay them, tomorrow would be the time to ask. Just a quick note. We're already up to nearly 300 questions in chat. That's incredible. I really appreciate all the questions coming through. We're actually going to close off the Q&As in about 5 minutes, just so we've got a chance to get through some of these. It's really hard to kind of pick through them. If what you can do is just hit a like on any of the questions that you see that you would really want to know the answer to, and we'll make sure to pick up as many of those ones as we can. And the other thing to say is that any questions that we don't answer, we're going to be creating a video in the next few weeks where we're going to be talking to all the site supervisors and students that you see today, and we're going to go through all those questions and get the answers to you in that kind of way. So with that being said, let's go into a few more of these. Oh, we've got a really topical one here. So I'm going to take this one. So the question is, will there be reduced occupancy because of COVID, and will the residences be fully occupied? So I've got an answer here for you on that. So our flats mostly accommodate between 6 and 10 residents, and these are classified as households after the initial period of social distancing. For the previous academic year, we have reduced our occupancy slightly in some of our larger flats as an extra precaution, in addition to the government guidance on operation of higher education settings. We very much hope that we won't have to do this for next year. Obviously, we're basically going to be operating based on the government guidance that comes through to us, and your kind of safety and support is our utmost priority. So please don't worry, we will have that in mind. Okay. Next one we've got here is, how likely are you to get your first choice room? I'm happy to take this one. So in the last academic year, students got one of their top 3 preferences they put through. So we'll go through more of this on Thursday. So if you've got any kind of real specific questions about that, you can put those through on Thursday. But yeah, top three preferences, 95% of people got one of those in the last year. I don't have a stat for the top preference of this year, but I know that a couple of years ago, 80% of students got their first preference. So I think that should give you an indication of kind of how we allocate. But I will say again, we're going to have much more information of this available on Thursday. Okay. Right. So I've got a question here that I think I'm going to pass on to Sarah, if that's okay. So can you stay in accommodation for second and third year? I thought you only had to stay in accommodation for your first year.
So the beauty behind living at Southampton is that you have the opportunity to live at uni halls for all 3 years, which is exactly what I did. And the reason why I did it is because I started my journey at Southampton at Mayflower halls, and I basically just didn't want to leave. The support from student life is exceptional. I love the close-knit community at Mayflower, and the fact that you're so close to local communities like the hospital, to the train station, to Asda, to the high street. I just thought, and as well the fact that you have the bus pass to the campuses, which are very close by. I just thought, what's the need to leave?
That's brilliant. Thank you so much. So kind of just mixing together two of the answers that we've had. Carl did mention earlier that you can apply to live as a group in your second or third year. And it's not guaranteed. We guarantee accommodation for first year students. They are our kind of first priority to get into halls. But as Sarah said, it is absolutely an option for your second or third, even fourth year. So yeah, do make sure you keep that in mind. Oh, this is an interesting one. Okay, so the question we've got here is, what hall is the most social? I think this will be another one for our students. So who haven't I spoken to yet? Zemzem, would you be able to take this one for me? I think you're muted, by the way, Zemzem.
Sorry. So yeah, I stayed in Glen halls, and from my perspective, I think that was the real social hub. But I'm sure other students from other halls might disagree. I think all halls are generally quite social, but Glen, because it's such a large site and it's so open and so many different sections of it, you really kind of get to know each other quite well.
That's great. Thank you very much. I mean, you're absolutely right. All of the halls are very social, kind of in their own way. Some of our larger sites like Glen, you know, you get that kind of lots of little different communities. Other ones like Archers Road, as Augustine mentioned earlier, everyone knows everyone. It's the same for Erasmus Park up at Winchester. Yeah, so they're all a little bit different, but don't worry about that aspect when you're coming to halls. It will be social, I promise you. Let's go on to a few more here. Okay, I think this will be another one for Carl. I'm sorry, it feels like I'm picking on you a little bit, mate. So can I get halls in Southampton rather than Winchester if I'm studying at the Winchester campus?
As a general answer, no, it's not something that we tend to do. Again, as you can probably understand, the halls that we have at Winchester are to cater for the Winchester School of Art, and the halls that we have in Southampton are cater for Southampton students. I think in previous years we have on occasions had that, but it's not something that we would be we've done the last few years. So yeah, Winchester for Winchester School of Art students, Erasmus Park would be the option available to you in terms of our halls.
Great, thank you very much. So I've got one here that I'll just quickly take. So which halls offer the most variety in catering options? For this year, that will be our Wessex Lane complex, as it offers both self-catered and park-catered accommodation. So self-catering, obviously you cook for yourself. Park-catered, as Tom mentioned in the video, you get 2 meals a day provided, and then you do have to cook the third or even fourth meals if you wish. You get a small kitchen available for you to do that with. Okay, let's keep going through here. So I think this is a question that I'm going to put to one of our students, and I think maybe Jess, you might be able to help me out with this one. So the question is, will you know who your flatmates are before you move in?
I personally didn't, but you obviously, there's like group chats around. So like Winchester School of Art had like a big like Facebook group chat. So everyone who was sort of in Erasmus Park kind of went onto that group chat before, so you could meet everyone kind of that way. But yeah, I'm not sure if that's sort of the same for everyone or if that was just my personal experience.
I think that does absolutely happen across our different halls. You know, these kind of group chats get set up. We don't kind of control them, I'll say, in residential services, but you will find them on social media. One of the great things about coming to halls in Southampton is we don't group you, as Augustine mentioned, we don't group you by your course, your background, where you're from, or anything like that. We've really tried to get kind of a real mixture of students into our flats, which means that you'll be able to meet some great people. Everyone will be in the same boat when you first move in. It's a really great time that first day. So I'll look through some more of these questions. We've got a couple of application questions. As I say, we will be going into more detail on this on Thursday, but I'll just quickly answer them here. So I assume we can only apply for accommodation once we've been accepted by the University of Southampton. You need to have an offer from us in order to apply for accommodation, and you need to accept that as either your firm or your insurance choice. So we do guarantee accommodation for both of those choices. We're really going to go into this on Thursday, but all you need is that offer with an ID number, and then you can go through the application process. Once you've put that application in, you'll then be allocated against that application once you have through your kind of final exam results. For the kind of probably fairly small number of you who are unconditional, i.e. you've already had your exam results, or maybe you've just deferred a year or something like that, you might get your offer through a little earlier, but for the vast majority of students, that will come through from the kind of middle of August onwards. Okay. Sarah, I've got one for you, if that's okay. So, can you hear the traffic in your room at Mayflower? Would you be able to help me out with that?
Good question. Because Mayflower is such a big complex, it really, first, it depends on where you are living in the complex. I've lived in Block A and Block B. And Block A, when you close the windows, you can't hear anything, and I'm being really serious. In Block B, I was facing the high street, kind of, and when you have your window open, you can hear a bit of noise. But then when you shut the windows, I don't know what windows they use, but it's literally blocks out all the noise. And yeah, so to answer your question, no.
That's brilliant. Thank you so much. Yeah, that's absolutely something that we were considered when the hall was built. It was a pretty modern building. As Kaylee mentioned, it was built in 2014. So it's absolutely built with students in mind. And we know that that wouldn't be great if you're trying to study and you've got constant traffic noise or anything like that. So look for some more questions here. So this would be a question for any second or third year students that we've got in the event who might have a Unilink bus pass for this year. So I'll go through the question, but then if someone can just shout, if that's the case for them, just unmute your mic and start talking and we'll go from there. So in year 2+, so second, third year, etc., if you're not living in halls, how much does the Unilink service cost? Doesn't seem like we've got anyone available to answer that.
I could do that.
Yes, please do. Go ahead.
Okay, so it basically depends on your need. With Unilink, once you go on the website, you have a lot of options. So you have different tickets. You have trip tickets. So if you decide you want 36 trips, for example, roughly it's around £50 instead of the 270 ticket. So you can take them up to trips. So if you don't know how many times you're going to go in the city center, just take trips. And once they're consumed, you can buy new trips. Or you can take monthly ones, so each month, every 3 months, or for a year itself. For a year, it's roughly around 260. Prices might change, but it's all up to you. Everything is on Unilink, and once you register with a student account, you can see discounted prices.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Okay, let's keep going through these. So it seems we've had a huge number of questions about which halls are closest to certain facilities. So, you know, be that the gyms, which campus, etc., etc. Something that I hope you managed to take away from the video that we showed earlier is, while it's obviously, you know, each hall is in a different location and there are some kind of wonderful facilities around, it really, really doesn't matter. I know that we've had a bunch of students in the chat who are kind of current students, but I'll say this as an ex-student myself. I was in halls a little while ago. I was at Wessex Lane Halls, which is one of the further ones from the Highfield campus. I had no issues at all getting on the bus every morning. It was kind of 20 minutes on the bus into lectures in Highfield campus. I had friends in my flat who used to study at the NOC. They used to get there in, I think, around 30-40 minutes. The bus service is genuinely one of the best things about being in halls here. You can get anywhere you need to go. There's no charge to you. It's fantastic. So let's keep going through some questions. Okay, I've got a question for Kaylee here, if you're okay to take it. So do most of the rooms have single or double beds?
It all depends. There are the enhanced rooms that have some of them have bigger beds. It's better to perhaps contact the site before you come. I can tell you for Mayflower halls that we have on enhanced rooms have not a double bed, but they have a big single bed. It's a small double. I think they're called a queen bed, but it's I think they're 4 foot instead of 4'6". So they are slightly different sizes, but you can get that information off of our website. And then we have all the single beds as well. So it all depends on what you want to pay for. You can pay extra and get the enhanced room, and that you may get a double bed or the smaller double bed. But it all depends on what site you're at.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Yeah, as Katie mentioned, there's actually a table on our website of all of the bed sizes across our different halls of accommodation. So you can find that very easily by searching, or even just Googling, you know, Southampton halls bed size, and you'll find it on there. And it just takes you through all of the different halls and what size beds they have there. Okay. Got a very quick question that I'm going to take myself. So which halls have the fastest internet connection? They're all super fast. I wouldn't worry about that. They're all basically the same. So there is more than enough internet connection for all of the students in halls. You won't have any issues with that at all. Just going straight from that. Give me a sec, just need to find some more questions in the chat. I've got one here for Carl. Will students be able to visit the University of Southampton halls before September this year?
At this moment, so as with anything at the moment, it is subject to change. But I know our teams are looking to have some on-site visit days and open days later this year. However, again, to what extent that will be is going to be guided by government guidelines at the time. And so it very much it is our desire to get people onto site as soon as we can. However, it's you know, one of those things at the moment where, as I'm sure you'll appreciate, is very much subject to change, and it very much depends on the circumstances at the time. But we are looking and starting to plan these events, and again, it just might mean that they're subject to change depending on what's going on. But as soon as anything is confirmed, then that will be publicised by the university. And to say, it is very much our desire to get people back on to site as soon as possible for visit days and open days and things like that.
Thank you very much, Carl. I can say this personally, we all really miss the open days. We we do them every year, the kind of in-person ones, and this event that we're doing right now is us kind of trying to make up for the lack of on-site open days for this year. We really hope it kind of goes some ways to show you what the halls are like. Do make sure you check out our website for lots of pictures of halls. We've got some 360-degree tours on YouTube as well. That's all linked through the event webpage, and it should give you as close a possible idea of what it's like to be here, even if you can't be here right now. Okay, I've got some more questions coming through now. I've got one for maybe Marta, if that's okay. So with our ensuite rooms, are the rooms smaller as the bathroom has been taken out of the room?
So we have different categories for ensuite rooms, and the standard ones are generally a bit smaller than the enhanced ones. But in general, having a bathroom in your room does not mean that your room will be smaller. So you don't have to worry about that.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Marta. Okay, what else have we got here? We've had a lot of questions about parking, so I'm going to try and take this one myself. So in general, the way that kind of parking works is that we have very limited parking at hall sites. So it's not something that we offer by standard. There is a team that you can speak to ask about getting a car parking permit, but I will say that the parking permits are only allocated to students who really need them, and that need would be either generally that they have or are a caregiver, or if they are an elite sports student, they have some kind of scholarships at the university. There are occasional exceptions to that, but I would say it's absolutely not the norm. The thing I would say about that, though, is I remember thinking exactly the same thing. It'd only been, when I was coming to university, I'd only been driving for, less than a year, and I was really excited. I wanted to bring my car with me. I didn't at the start, and I found I didn't need it. The bus services are so good. You can get anywhere you need to go. The transport links out of Southampton are fantastic. You can just get the train where you need to go. There's an airport in the city, so you don't even, if you want to go on holiday direct from halls, that's not a problem either. But I'll just really reiterate, the buses are so good, so frequent, and free to you because you get this bus pass included in your welcome pack. Don't worry about it, really. I totally understand the reason why people are asking, but it shouldn't be a concern for you. Okay, so one here. Who am I going to pick on? Maybe Marta, I'll put this one to you again if that's okay. So what happens when there is a student holiday? So do you have to leave halls at Easter, Christmas, etc.?
That depends a lot on the sort of contract that you have. So the students who have, for example, a 52-week long contract will not have to leave halls. However, the ones that have a shorter contract might have to do that. However, if that is the case, all of this will be explained when you apply for halls and when your contract is due, but provided that you apply and read all the information that you are given on the website, you will not have any surprises about having to move and not being informed about it beforehand.
Fantastic, thank you very much. I'm just going to expand on that slightly. So for the Christmas holidays, none of our halls are ones where you'd have to leave. You can stay there throughout the Christmas holidays, no issue at all. A very small number of our halls, we actually have conferences hosted in them over Easter. So for those ones, you do have to move out. But of course, for the time that you're not there, you don't have to pay for the room. So for some people, that could be seen as a positive. Some people may not be the thing that they'd like to do. Pay attention when you apply, because it will be part of your contract length. I think it's also called a license type on the application, but don't worry, we've got a full walkthrough of this on Thursday where we'll take you through the entire application process. It's really easy. But say the norm is that you won't have to move out at Easter at all. Okay. So I've got one here for Carl. Again, this is a bit more of an application one, but I think we'll take it on today. It's got quite a few likes. So due to COVID, are we now more likely to put people in flats who are on the same course? Would you be able to help me out with that, please?
Hello. No, that's not what we've done at the University of Southampton. So when you move into halls, in regard to your flat, you form a household, but we don't do that by faculty or course or anything along those lines. So a bit like you, if you're at home at the moment, you've formed a household, each flat would be a household. And again, it's therefore, if within your household you had to isolate or something, we would consider that the household, but we haven't done that by faculties or anything. Unfortunately, we haven't had that many instances within Southampton, but where we have been we've been able to support students with food packs and things like that. Again, we covered that a bit yesterday with our first event, and we'll go into a bit more detail about that tomorrow at our Safe and Secure in Halls. But in answer to the first bit of the question, no, we haven't grouped students by their faculty.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Carl. It's one of the great things about moving into halls, as I've mentioned before, is just the variety of people that you'll meet. And we do have all the measures in place necessary to help you keep yourself safe. So we're just going to do a couple more questions. I don't want to run too far over time here. So I'm going to take a couple of these myself. So the first one is there a hall that is best for international students? Not really. All of our halls have international students in them. And as mentioned before, it's all kind of very much mixed up. We don't just have international student flats, you know, it's all, everyone's mixed up so that we kind of get people from different backgrounds together, which is fantastic. It means that you'll meet people that you never would have met outside of this kind of situation. Yeah, so not really in terms of a specific hall for international students. Anywhere is good. The next one, again, another quick one. So can you choose which hall you want to be in, such as Chamberlain, when applying for Glen? So I'll answer this one very generally. Not specifically. So you can't, you can say in the free text box that Carl mentioned a little while ago now that you'd like to live in a certain hall. It's not something that we allocate against because we would be looking at your main application. However, you can get some information on the website about which room categories refer to which buildings. There is a lot of crossover between them. So there's, for instance, certain room categories that would have kind of maybe 4 or 5 different buildings kind of within that category. I would focus more on that kind of aspect and not worry so much about the exact location. As I've said before, you will have a fantastic experience in halls no matter where you are. As a kind of side note on this, when I applied as a student, I got my third choice of accommodation and I loved it. I almost didn't even notice that I'd done that until it was pointed out to me a few weeks later when I was talking to my parents. So don't worry about it. Okay. I've got one here for Rachel, if that's okay. And I think we might finish off with this one. How would I contact the maintenance team if there's a problem in my room?
Hi, so all you need to do is to report a maintenance issue is we have an online database that you can just record minor sort of issues on, but if it's something that's very serious like a leak or something that's an emergency and requires immediate attention, then you should contact your hall's reception straight away. But anything non-urgent, you can just report online and it comes over to us for us to allocate an operative to. So it's quite easy and simple and you're updated with emails on the progress of works.
That's brilliant. Thank you very much. And just as a quick follow-up to that, I'm going to put this out to our student representatives here as well. Would anyone be able to just give a quick experience of what they've kind of had in terms of reporting stuff in halls? If you just want to unmute yourself and say hi, and we'll switch over to you.
Hi, yeah, I can give you an example. One of my friends, she had like a problem with her bathroom, so I think we went down to reception sort of within the evening, and literally like the next day they came out and looked at it, and I think yeah, within a few days it was all fixed and the problem was sorted. So yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Yeah, just good to know that the kind of system works. We put all these things in place, but it's really important for us that you are safe and secure in halls, and having a well-maintained room, flats, and all the communal areas is a really important part of that. So that's it for the question and answers. We've run slightly over time, but wow, we've had so many questions through. We really appreciate them all. As mentioned before, we are going to try and get answers to the ones that we've missed put out as soon as possible in a video, likely within the next couple of weeks. But yeah, that's it for our kind of live Q&A session for the moment. So thank you all so much for coming today. We hope you found it interesting and got an idea of what each hall has to offer. Thank you also to all the staff and students who've done their best to get through all the questions. We know there are some unanswered ones, but as mentioned before, we'll get a video out shortly to go through these. If you do have an urgent question, you can also get in contact with us through social media or email, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. There are links to them that are going to be posted to it in the chat. Make sure you check out our website for more information and pictures and come along to the remaining sessions this week. Thanks again, and we'll see you tomorrow.